Okay, so here are the rails, and here is our show.
Completely off. Completely gone today. What in the world? Derailed.
Yay, you're here. Welcome to the CK and GK podcast. Let's get going.
Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of Top Not Talk.
Hi, everyone. We'll go ahead and get started.
For those of you who are just joining us, welcome. We are moms and teachers
Who regularly pretend to adult.
We know lots of things.
But we know even fewer things.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So our approach to teaching is all about fun and practicality. Come along and laugh and learn with us. With me today is Caitlin, the woman whose hair is as red as the fire in her soul.
Oh, man, you just totally perfectly described me. And, of course, I have everyone's favorite sarcastic, sassy waitress in front of me. It's Carla Tortelli from Cheers, everyone. Here she is. Just in all of her beautiful glory. No, just kidding. That's Jenny.
That's good. That's good.
Thank you. I like that one. I don't know why that one came to me, but everyone loves Carla.
Just a couple of years ago, John and I rewatched the whole thing of Cheers.
It's so good. Anyway, Sam and Diane. All right, let's get started. We got circle time to go. So we've got, of course, our sports circle time. There's a lot that's happened in the world of sports.
So we have a correction to make because a la MFM, we have a little corrections corner.
Yeah, we're gonna steal that.
Yeah.
Thanks, MFM. We love you.
And we're going to quote them as the source, so they can't yell at us. They can just say, hey, thanks for listening.
All the credit to My Favorite Murder, Georgia Hardstark, and Karen Kilgariff. Thank you for your corrections corner. We have stolen it. You're welcome.
When we were talking about the All-Star game in our last epi, we said how fun it is to listen to Mike Trout mic'd up on the field, but Mike Trout's not in the All-Star game right now because he is on the IL, the injured list, for a calf injury, and so we want to make sure that you knew that he's not actually in the game. So,
yeah, no, he didn't play.
Yeah, no, he's funny to listen to. He's great. Yes. And next season, you can listen to him. Instead, they had a couple of other guys mic'd up. One of them was the Atlanta-based first baseman, Freddie Freeman, and he stole the show. His commentary was so funny.
Yeah, he had all kinds of gems up there. At one point, they're telling him like who he's gonna bat up against. He's like, wait, I don't know who am I batting against? I don't know. Can you guys tell me? And they just start reading off the lineup of the other team. It was great. He was fun to listen to.
So he was really great.
Yeah, he was fun.
The other thing was we were debating back and forth as to whether the All-Star game determines who is the home team in the World Series.
Oh my God, my husband's gonna be so disappointed in me that I messed this up.
No, you didn't mess it up. You didn't mess it up because from 2003 until 2016, that was the case.
Okay, so I did mess it up a little bit.
Yeah, no. You've had a kid.
Yeah, that's true. In 2016,
right?
I had a kid. Yeah, you're right.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
right,
I'm giving you a free pass on this one.
Yeah, thanks.
Before 2003, they just took turns, right? Like if it was an odd year, it was one team. If it was even the other.
Yeah.
In 2016, they decided that there will be a statistics-based procedure. First, it's the highest seeded team in their bracket for their league championship, the pennant race.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If they are both the same in their league bracket, then they go to most regular season win percentage. If that is a tie, I mean, it just goes down. They have a very long procedure of tiebreakers in case there is a tie. But until 2016, you were correct. The All-Star game did determine who was the home team. And now it is based on who is the highest in their team bracket.
That seems more fair.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my little corrections All-Star game.
Nice. Well, thank you for that. I'm sure that all of our baseball fans who are listening will be super stoked that we fixed it.
Oh my gosh, we got so many emails. It was ridiculous.
Oh my gosh, so many. Just kidding, guys. We haven't released these yet. but I'm hoping that we get some additional sports news that I have for you guys. So last night would have been the 20th, so July 20th, the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Phoenix Suns in the NBA championship.
Fear the deer.
Oh, for sure. They're the Bucks. Deer, get it? Okay, so that's the first time they've actually brought that championship back to Milwaukee in 50 years, which is a great accomplishment for them. The star to look for, the one that everyone's talking about right now, is Giannis. This is a very complicated name, so I'm going to get it wrong, but I'm going to do the best I can. His name is Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think I did okay.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
they call him the Greek freak.
They do. He just seems like such a normal human being. Some of his sweetest things he's said, he's got some great quotes about how, like, you know, I try to stay humble by living in the present. You know, his life has not been easy. He moved to Greece as an immigrant, as a like refugee, I believe. That he was like, my mom was selling goods in the streets, and now, you know, I'm an NBA champion. It's just very special. So that was a really cool thing to watch him and his emotions. It was awesome.
Last night he had a lot of foul shots, and every time he would sink one, he'd smile. It was so cute.
He's got the best smile. He's just so precious. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Of course, we have the Olympics coming. The opening ceremonies are on Friday, which is very cool. A lot of people are wondering why we're even having the Olympics, and we'll get into some of that. There's a lot going on with that, but fun fact, Michael Phelps has signed on to be an NBC commentator for the swimming coverage, which is going to be so great.
Was he not available for gymnastics?
I bet he would get a kick out of doing the gymnastics coverage.
Dun, dun, dun,
I know. Amazing. I love it. So he's going to be a commentator for the swimming coverage, which is awesome. The big news coming out of Tokyo right now with the Olympics is, of course, COVID. These are still being marketed as the 2020 Olympics, but obviously they're happening in 2021. As of yesterday, the AP coverage was that there were 71 cases, and 2 of those cases we know are of athletes. Some of the athletes have already just said, I can't even go. One of them is our American gymnast Kara Eker, who's an alternate for the gymnastics team, so she's not going. Several of the cases are people who work in Olympic Village on the campus but are not actually staying there. That's big news coming out of there. Other big news, the beds are evidently made out of cardboard. No joke. The beds are made out of cardboard, and like when you pull up the mattress, you can like see different ways that you can construct your bed. It's like IKEA but cardboard. And I'm wondering what the reasoning, I'm sure it's something to do with like not wanting to be wasteful or whatever it is, but hopefully, you know, people are going to manage to be comfortable. Like I can't even imagine. But there are a few people that I'm excited to watch for the Olympics. I love to watch swimming. It's one of my favorite things. Swimming and track and field and gymnastics are like my big 3 that I have to watch. Of course, swimming, Katie Ledecky, she's so hardcore. She's so amazing. And she's just an unbelievable swimmer. She was setting personal records and world records and stuff so long before even we knew her name. And so she's just really special. Keep your eye on Katie Ledecky for swimming. Gymnastics, of course, the GOAT. Of course, we have to watch Simone Biles and see what she's up to, but there are plenty of other talented ladies on that team. There are other talented guys on our men's gymnastics team. We got to keep an eye on them. And track, you got to watch Allison Felix. So my fun fact about Allison Felix is that like her family is actually from the same part of Colorado that I grew up in, and I like went to school with her brother. Her brother is a few years older than me, so it's not like we would know each other or run into each other and be like, oh my gosh, hey Wes, how's it going? We kind of think of them as hometown people. But Allison Felix, if she medals in Tokyo, she's going to tie Carl Lewis for the most Olympic medals for an American track and field athlete, which is so cool. I think this is her 5th Olympics, I want to say. Wow. That sounds, I don't know if that's right, but I'm pretty sure it's her 5th. And fun fact about her, she is paying for Olympic moms to have daycare coverage for their children because a lot of them can't bring their kids because of COVID restrictions. So she is footing the bill for daycare for many, I think it was something like $200,000 that she's putting towards daycare for Olympic moms, which is so special. So even if she doesn't medal, she's got a special place in my heart. She's amazing. And a sport I'm excited to watch that I haven't actually ever watched before is surfing. And there's a guy from Hawaii named John Florence, and his name just like made me so happy. I was like, oh my gosh, John. So anyway, I'm super stoked to watch this guy, the Hawaiian John Florence, going to be surfing for the American Olympic team, which is so cool. This story, I know I've been talking for a while. This story is not about Olympics, but it reminded me that we have a lot to do in terms of Olympic rules and stuff. But I don't know if you heard this story, Jenny, but just yesterday it came out that the Norwegian beach handball team, the women's handball team, was fined 1,500 euros, which is like roughly $1,700, for, quote, improper clothing, because they refused to play in bikini bottoms during a game in the Euro 21 tournament.
Oh.
So they were fined by the European Handball Association's disciplinary commission for their improper clothing. So they wore, instead of bikini bottoms, they wore like basically just like spandex shorts, like bike shorts. They're like not super long. They're like mid-thigh, and they still wore their like sport bra top. But apparently that was not appropriate according to the International Handball Federation rule book, which was pretty disturbing. The team, like right before the game, they called up their president and they were like, hey, we don't want to wear the bikini bottoms. We're going to wear the shorts that we always wear in practice. And they were like, the president was like, sure, do what you're going to do. Don't worry about it. It's fine. So they had full support of their president. Their president is pretty appalled by the fine. The fact that that's the statement that they're choosing to make is that women have to wear these bikini bottoms. And there's a tweet that I saw that came from at Lady Talia, and Talia's, the I has a 1. She noted that it's a very stark contrast between the men and the women's team. The men get to wear full tank top that covers their entire body or their entire torso, and shorts that are not even super tight. Like it's not even spandex. They're just like regular shorts. So they're like in the picture of the men and women's handball team, they're like standing side by side. The women look practically naked and the men are completely covered up. It's kind of appalling. So in my opinion, European Handball Association, International Handball Association, Federation, whatever, you guys need to fix your rules. Let women play in what they're going to be comfortable in the sand.
Caitlin, if I was fined $1,700 for every time I chose not to wear a bikini bottom,
I mean,
I would have to get a second job just to cover my butt.
Just to cover my butt, yeah. It's very clear what the women's handball team is expected to do, right? They're not there to play the game. They're there to be eye candy for the people who are watching the game. Like, it's just very disappointing. So that's your sports news. I'm sure you've got more to talk about. What's going on in your life right now, Johnny?
So we have this segment, I'm Not Ashamed, which we've kind of interpreted as, moments in parenting, and I'm just going to tell you what's going on. Well, today it's more about me and not about my parenting journey. I have had a hard time hearing in the last year, and it's particularly picked up in the last couple of months. When there's background noise, I can barely focus on what speaker. With masking and not being able to read lips alongside what someone is saying, I'm having a really hard time picking up messages. And I recently went on vacation. We took a friend with us, and I started the trip by telling him, look, I'm going to ask you to repeat yourself many times over the trip because
oh man,
I don't always catch it the first time. I went and saw an audiologist and had my hearing checked. After the exam, he came in and he says, I have good news and bad news. And it's the same news. You have great hearing. He told me all about something that's been popping up in the journals.
Gut punch.
Yeah, right? And I even said, I was afraid of that, I wouldn't just come home, get glasses in an hour at LensCrafter. I thought, I'd get Earcrafter and I'd go home with my hearing aids and be able to, that's what I expected. I was ready. And I thought, I wear glasses to help me see better. Why shouldn't I wear hearing aids to help me hear better?
Yeah, exactly. Totally get it.
Anyhow, he told me about silent hearing loss, which is apparently popping up in a lot of journals in his field. And it's undiagnosable and untreatable because you test well in a controlled environment, but struggle to hear. in the wild. He gave me a couple of tips and 2 that I'm just going to share because I feel like they're just, universally great for everyone.
Yeah.
One is don't be afraid to advocate for yourself when there's background noise and just say, hey, can we take this conversation to a different space? I'm having a hard time focusing. Saying, hey, can you turn the TV down? Can you turn the radio down? Can you turn down the AC? Whatever it is, and just say, hey, I'm having a hard time picking up what you're saying. Let's turn down the background noise.
Right. And I feel like that's something that's so useful for people. And if you're uncomfortable sharing that you can't hear as well, I like that you just said, like, I'm having a hard time focusing. Like, to me, my potential ADHD that I still have not gotten diagnosed yet is very much like, oh, squirrel. Like, if I see something else, I'm gonna make a beeline for that, whatever that thing is that's dragging my attention away from the person speaking. So I would be more inclined to say, hey, my focus is really waning right now. Can we do something to change the environment so that I can pay more attention to you, and blame it on that as opposed to, my hearing sucks or whatever it is that you want to say about yourself. I think that gives people a good out if they're feeling uncomfortable about that.
Right. And the other one that I thought was really interesting was he said, instead of asking someone to repeat themselves or saying, pardon me, what, can you say that again? He said, you say, can you say that differently? He said, if it's a neurological issue, which the silent hearing loss kind of seems like it is, if your hearing is working, maybe there's a connection in your brain. He said, having someone say the same meaning with different words gives your brain more context clues to put together a thought. You're not asking someone to speak up. You're not saying, hey, what? Say that again. I mean, my daughter is tired of me telling her to
I'm
repeat
sure.
herself.
I get it.
She's just like, whatever, it doesn't matter. And I said, no, please tell me again.
Yeah, it does matter. I want to know what you're saying. Yeah.
But now, if I can say, oh, can you say that differently? It shows the speaker how much I value what they're saying.
Right.
And I want to hear the same thought, just with different language.
Yeah.
So
that's like the old... Yeah, that is helpful. That's like the old spell your name for me trick. Like when someone says their name 3 times and you're like, I still missed it. Can you spell it? And it's like Sarah, S-A-R. Just like, darn it. It's a hack for that. I love that. That's a great idea. And I might start using those myself because it does show that you're interested, that you want to pay attention, that it's not about you being disengaged. It's about truly you are having a hard time with whatever it is they're trying to tell you. I like that. Those are helpful.
Right.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Yeah. What else is going on? Are you into anything right now? Like,
okay, so last week I talked about how I'm obsessed with Graham's number. I am still in this YouTube hole of videos about large numbers, to the point even where I'm putting them on and my daughter is like, no, we're not watching math. I learned about tree 3, which I will not explain because it takes a long time, but I will tell you that it is so interesting to me and
tree
so
3.
Boring to my daughter.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean,
my 9-year-old, who defines herself as a mathematician, said, no, I'm not watching this anymore.
She's such a teacher's kid.
But the other thing that I'm super into, we did a sourdough starter during the high of quarantine, right?
Nice.
We've been feeding it and babying it and taking care of it. It's our new pet. Sometimes it takes more attention than our German Shepherd.
Does it have a name?
Oh, no, we need to name it.
Yeah, you do.
I know people name theirs.
If you're feeding, if you're feeding it, it needs a name.
My husband likes to follow Jenna Fisher of Pam of The Office fame.
Nice.
And apparently she uses her sourdough starter to make chocolate chip cookies.
Stop. Oh my God.
So we found a recipe on artisanbrian.com, Brian with a Y.
Nice.
And it's for chocolate chip cookies that use sourdough as or sourdough starter instead of baking soda or baking powder.
That's genius.
And I added coconut and they were so good. They do have kind of a bready consistency. It's like a chocolate chip scone.
Okay.
Super great.
Okay. That's awesome. While we're talking about cookies, at Christmas time, I made Joanna Gaines's chocolate chip cookie recipe. It does not have a sourdough starter. Oh my God, I will never make another chocolate chip cookie in my life. I will have your sourdough starter cookies because that's a different thing. And because I love anything sourdough, anything, I'm all about it.
I think I'm not going to market them as cookies. I think I'll call them scones.
Scones. Yeah. No, I think that that's a great thing. No, those were the best cookies like Joanna Gaines. I found the recipe on BuzzFeed because it was like right when her book came out or something. God bless you, BuzzFeed. You are responsible for half my entertainment. Oh my goodness. Like amazing cookies. But I really want to taste those. I'm going to need to have a scone next time we're together.
And because I'm calling them scones, they're now a breakfast food.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, anything is breakfast food if you eat it in the morning. A breakfast all times of day. Let's be clear. I guess my big obsession right now is just kind of wellness in general. Like, I don't think we've talked about this on the pod at all lately, but, or ever really. Jenny and I used to work together. That's how we met. We were teaching at the same school. And then just recently, just with COVID stuff, and me needing to take a backseat to paying attention to my own mental health, I actually left that job. And I've really been trying to focus on my own mental health and physical health. I have a blood issue that is benign for the time being, which is great. But it is still a health concern that I have to keep an eye on. Really just trying to wrap my head around the little T trauma that was this past year of teaching in COVID. And so for me, wellness has been kind of the theme of my summer, getting outside for at least half an hour or hopefully more every day, trying to make sure that I exercise and then go for a walk. Or if I was intermittent fasting, actually sticking with the plan of intermittent fasting, eating something that is not a carb, a vegetable, a green thing, just trying to put something into my body every day that's good for me and all that. Going to my chiropractor fairly regularly. I have back issues and she has been all over it. She has been, bless her heart, she's been like taping my back and like trying to keep me sitting upright and great. She's amazing, and shout out to her. She knows who she is if she's ever listening to this. And then just like, again, therapy, like talking to my therapist, letting her give me tips and then actually following through on those tips. And we talked about last night, you know, what little T trauma does to your brain. It becomes a trigger over and over again, and your brain can't tell the difference between what initially caused that trauma and the trigger, you know? So there are times where you have to look around and go, okay, I'm not in that environment anymore. And worst case scenario, what could actually happen? What am I afraid of? What's triggering me right here, right now in this moment? And how can I pull myself out of this? What's the actual factual information that I have in front of me that either disproves the fear or can at least alleviate that fear so that I can move on with my day? Just shout out to all the people who are doing the things that help other people feel better, because wellness, it needs to be more of an obsession. I think it needs to be more of a thing we're all paying attention to. Like you going and getting your hearing checked, like good, that's great. You did something to take care of yourself and make yourself feel like you have some control over what's going on with your life right now. It's just so important. So that's my big obsession. And also I have to shout out another podcast, because we already shouted out MFM, but they're on the Exactly Right network. I'm kind of a podcast snob in that I really listen to like two. Like I need to be better about opening that up. And now that I work in a different situation, I'll be able to listen to more, which is great. But I just listened to the first season of Tenfold More Wicked, which is a fantastic true crime podcast by Kate Winkler Dawson, who is a UT professor, which is awesome because we are broadcasting here from Austin. And she's just like so well researched. She's a writer. She's got books that she's released that are about true crime. This is all interviews. And the first season is about Edward Ruloff, who is one of the first serial killers that's like documented. It was fascinating. It was so well done. Each episode's like 45 minutes, totally reasonable amount of time. It was great. So well done. Exactly Right. She's an amazing addition to the network, and you guys are doing it right over there. So nice.
I mean, if we're going to talk about podcasts that we love,
yeah,
I love Conspiracy Theories on the podcast network. Conspiracy Theories is a 2-parter every week. The first one, they talk about what the official story is. And then the second one, they break down all the conspiracies around it and grade them 0 to 10.
Oh, man.
And right now, they're doing a special series 4 episodes about failed conspiracies. So I just listened to the 5th of November, which is Guy Fawkes Day in England.
Yeah.
And it's a celebration of them not blowing up Parliament.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and they celebrate with fireworks.
Perfect.
Right.
As one does.
Yeah.
We didn't blow up the thing, so let's blow up the things in celebration.
Right. But it was a failed coup. So, I mean, it's a very interesting show, and it's about 45 minutes long. So it's perfect for your little walk outside if you have that kind of time in your day. If not, you can knock out an episode in your morning commute.
Yeah, I do those. My favorite time to listen is actually when I'm doing laundry. Like when I'm folding the laundry, because I don't, the folding is the worst. Taking it out of the dryer. I hate putting it away, but I also really hate taking it out of the dryer and folding it up.
I love folding because you take all this chaos and turn it into something beautiful and organized.
Oh my gosh, you couldn't come to my house and fold anytime. Like I will go, oh, there's stuff in the dryer. Guess I can't do any laundry for a while. And like I'll tumble it again. Like, it just needs 20 more minutes because I let the wrinkles set in, and then I just let it sit there. I hate it. But if I have a podcast, it makes it go so much faster. So that's what I was listening to. I was listening to Temple More Wicked while I was doing laundry. Like that was great.
I think turning the dryer back on is the laundry equivalent of letting a dish soak.
100%. Absolutely. Or like when you clean off the knife and then you lay it. That's like the universal symbol for I might have another sandwich. But really, I'm probably not going to, but I'm just going to leave that knife here and then tell someone they can use it later for their sandwich. I did also come up with a killer recipe for emergency. If you're one of those people who drinks emergency.
So I saw this in the show notes.
Yes.
In our planning. And I am jazzed to hear about it. Because we made quarantinis, which is emergency and vodka.
Oh,
and if you're making something better than that, I'm excited.
Okay, now, to be clear, this is not an alcoholic beverage, and it's not like...
Oh, okay.
I'm not doing anything.
Let me dial it back then.
Yeah, no, you're excited for nothing. This is me just like when I drink my emergency regularly at home, right? Like
Right. Because you're not locked in your house.
Right. Well, this is like I have to go pick up my son in an hour and I can't. Yeah. Right. Or I'm going to work in a few minutes. I need to drink my emergency.
No. We made these in March of 2020.
Yeah. This is like, give me all the emergency, but also all the alcohol because I can't do this. I can't get sick and do quarantine at the same time. Just won't work. For me, I just put a splash of cranberry juice in there. That's it. That's all it is. So like you make your emergency with like some people do really small amounts of water, like 4 ounces because the flavor is not so diluted and bitter. I usually do more, like 8 to 10, somewhere in there. Then I put a splash of cranberry juice in, and the cranberry juice always sinks in the bottom, and it looks like this really pretty, like tequila sunrise kind of look. Oh. And then it just tastes so good. Like it's probably like an ounce-ish, somewhere, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less, depending on like how heavy-handed I am that day. But it tastes so good, and it goes along with my wellness routine. So I just drink my emergency with cranberry juice every day. It's so tasty.
Like we say every week, we are not affiliated with emergency, but we are happy if you would like to start a relationship. Right.
We are open. I am a devout emergency drinker and have been for about 13 years because of my job. So, yeah.
Now, as soon as emergency listens to this pod and hears me say that I mix it with vodka, they're like, not that girl. We do not recommend. Her representing.
In no way do we condone this. Okay. Speaking of hot mess, because that's really what that that last little bit that was. Okay, so I saw this story this morning and I'm cracking up, and I just need to share it because the title itself is so funny to me that I don't think it needs much more explanation. So I'm just going to read this title. This is from the Associated Press. Okay, ho no, H-O-E, no, ho no. Facebook snafu spells trouble for gardening group.
And this is a recent article?
This came out this morning. Facebook's algorithms sometimes flag this particular word as, quote, violating community standards, apparently referring to a different word, one without an E at the end that is nonetheless often misspelled as the garden tool. Oh my gosh. So this like sweet group of gardeners in, it looks like Western New York, maybe. Oh my, they have 7,500 members, and and Facebook's algorithm tagged the post as violating community standards. And I cannot. When a group member commented push pull hoe on a post asking for your most loved and indispensable weeding tool, Facebook sent a notification that said, we reviewed this comment and found it goes against our standards for harassment and bullying. I laughed so hard. Like, I am still obviously in hysterics about this. Like, my eyes are watering. But I thought it was so precious. This
too good.
And this is from the Associated Press. It's just so sweet. I love it. Bless these sweet gardeners in Buffalo, New York.
Thank you for looking out for us and making sure.
Yes, thank you. And I'm hoping that you find things that actually do violate standards and take those posts down. But in the meantime, please let the sweet gardeners of Buffalo, New York continue on their merry way. I wonder how popular that group's going to get now.
Oh my gosh.
The stories come out. Can't wait. Oh my goodness. Okay, so
let's get
to the real reason why you're here. Hopefully the real reason why you're here is to hear my hilarious jokes because I'm funny. But anyway.
So when we were discussing what we would talk about, I said, I really want to talk about the value of a travel agent. I am not a travel agent. No one in my family is a travel agent. Yet. I think my husband wants to be one
after the experience you guys just had.
I just really, truly believe in this industry.
Okay.
But then also, we just came back from the happiest place on earth. And we were there for 8 days.
Yeah.
And when we go to this happiest place on earth, we do it up. And so I feel like I have a lot of good information about that. So today we are an amalgamation of why you need a travel agent and what you can do at Disney.
I mean, hey, listen, this is important. This is hard-hitting journalism. This is important information. We all need to know this stuff. All right.
Right.
My son, by the way, cannot put down the Mickey ears that you guys brought back for him, which was so precious. Like, I think I sent you a picture the next morning after we saw you. He's sitting on the couch watching Space Jam, the original Space Jam. We had just watched the new one the night before, and I have to say I liked it. I feel guilty liking it. Michael is the OG, and it was so beautiful. And Sam was watching the OG one, but he had his Mickey ears on. So he's cute. This. If no one else needs to know this, skip ahead, hit that plus 15 on this because it's going to be funny, but it might not be relevant to you. Meanwhile, I need to know this information, so she's going to hook me up with this information so that I can have all that I need to know when it comes to booking a travel agent and then having that travel agent help me do Disney.
Here's the deal. Travel agents are normally free to the user. Most of the time, when you are booking a trip through an agent, he or she or they are making their money through the place that they're booking, not from you.
Okay, so I really thought, like up until you just said that, I really thought that you had to pay a fee to your travel agent. Like,
this is like a wedding planner, right? Like, oh, well, yeah, of course I'll plan your wedding, but I'm going to charge 10% of the 40 grand you're spending.
Right.
There are some agents who get their fees that way. And you just have to ask up front, how are you compensated?
Right.
There are some travel agents that will offer you discounts on the trip and then charge you a percent of what they save you. Okay. There are some travel agents who just book a percent of what you pay. So like a wedding planner, you're just going to pay a fee based on the percentage of what you spend. But most travel agents are free to you, the traveler.
Okay. I mean,
I truly believe in this industry. I have never paid for a travel agent.
That's amazing.
Okay.
I love it.
So if you are a member of AAA can help you plan trips. They partner with a lot of different tour industries. You can actually book a trip that's already planned through AAA.
Okay.
There's not a lot of wiggle room In a AAA trip, if you go with one of these prescribed trips, there are AAA agents out there that can make you a personalized trip too. So it really depends on your AAA office. You can call and make an appointment, and they'll meet with you and kind of tell you what your options are.
So do you need to reach out to your local office, or is there like a national whatever that can do this for you too?
I would go to the local office.
Okay.
Just because you really do want to sit down and talk with the person, even if you're only going to have a phone call.
Sure.
Because again, we don't always do everything in person anymore. Thank goodness for that.
That's amazing. Yeah. No, text me. Don't ever call me. Text me.
Right. But you want to be able to talk and build a relationship with this person.
Sure.
Because the other thing is a travel agent really does see you from beginning to end. Mm-hmm. If you're struggling to find someone, you're not a member of AAA, or you want to go with another agent, I encourage you to talk to your friends, join some Facebook groups. Also, travel agents network with each other. So for example, about 5 or 7 years ago, my husband and I went to New Zealand, and we used a travel agent we had a connection with in Dallas, who then paired us with an agent who lives and works in New Zealand.
Perfect.
So we had someone who, boots on the ground. And I think about when you donate to charity during a disaster, you really want to give to an organization that's already there, right? One that is going to make the most difference because they already know the territory. They know what needs the people have, and you're not paying for the overhead of getting there.
Right. It's the help thy neighbor mentality.
Exactly.
Yes.
And, I'm a member of a women's service organization here in Austin, and we partner with 30 different local organizations that specialize in specific needs for each region or population. And we want to let those experts take care of their field. So we provide them time or financial resources so that they can do the work that they are meant to do.
Sure.
And the travel agent will do the same thing. If your agent isn't familiar with that area, they can connect you with someone who is. And then they get a kickback from that person, right?
Exactly.
The fees get paid.
Well, and because it's kind of like a wedding planner in a sense, because they're repeat customers, they'll continue to get business from that company and may even be able to get you things at a discount. Whereas, and I think about this with my wedding all the time. I used a wedding planner. She was able to get me discounts. She made up her fee in the discounts that she got me because she's going to bring back customers over and over and over again to those companies. Whereas if I'm just do it all bride walking into some place, they're going to either mark up or not give me any kind of discount because I'm only going to hopefully be there the one time, maybe two, who knows? I don't know. But this is similar to that in that with a travel agent, again, they can get you those discounts because they have a pre-existing relationship with the local companies or activities or whatever it's going to be that you're doing. That's awesome.
Right,
that's a really good way to think about it. Okay.
So not only do they have these existing relationships, they also know about things that you don't even know about. They can connect you with experiences or restaurants or hotels that you would not have discovered on your own.
Right.
And I hear you. This is 2021 or 2022 or 2023, depending on how popular our podcast is, and you guys are going back and listening to the old episodes because you want to hear how we started.
I know.
This is the time of the World Wide Web, right? Why don't I just go to the Webernet? Like, why would I not just use the internet to book my trip?
Interwebs. Webernet.
Right.
I've never heard that one. That's a good one.
Oh, yeah, that's my favorite, the Webernet. But here's the deal. The reason that you want to not just use the internet is because these people already have, right? Do not reinvent the wheel. Do not spend the time and the effort trying to discover things that they already know at the tip of their fingers. Like they already have all this information.
That's a good point.
So you're getting a consultant. You're going to the experts. And my microwave broke. I called in a repair person because I don't know how to fix a microwave. And I'm sure there's a YouTube video out there where I could watch how to fix the microwave, but it was worth the $75 to have someone come and fix it.
Yeah, 100%.
For free. Why would I not have an expert plan my trip?
Right. It's not like you have all this free time on your hands. You might as well get someone to take care of it for you.
Yeah. Now, and I've heard you say this before, Caitlin, that you are type A-.
Very much so.
So you have the planner in you, but sometimes you just don't want to do
But I just don't care.
all of the planning.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like I just don't want to get started. Like if I can get started, then it's fine. But I really just am like, I really don't want to do that.
So a travel agent really does work to your level of comfort.
Yeah.
So if you are a person who wants to have everything scheduled minute by minute, your agent can set that up for you.
Yeah.
But if you just want to know, hey, give me a list of a dozen places that I want to explore and make me a lunch reservation so that I know where I can eat today. They also can do that.
Oh, that's amazing.
I want to kind of pivot now and talk not so much about why you want an agent, but why you want a Disney agent.
Okay. So to be clear, this is like a travel agent who is employed by the Disney company who will set you up for success when you go to Disney.
This is an actual travel agent who specializes in Disney, works for a separate organization that is then graded and partners with Disney.
Oh, hey.
So they are motivated to do you well.
Right.
Because they don't work for Disney. They work with Disney.
Yeah.
And Disney doesn't work with people that aren't doing well.
Right.
This is even better than someone who works for Disney because they are motivated to make you happy.
When I would think that like someone who works for Disney would be looking more into sales as opposed to the tourist's comfort level.
Right.
So, okay, that makes me feel a little bit better about this.
So I have worked with 2 different Disney travel agencies, and both of them were fantastic. The only reason we didn't go back to the first one is because she changed careers. So I don't want to think that we had a poor experience the first time. We just weren't able to partner with her again.
Sure.
Both of the organizations that we've partnered with have been fantastic. If you are planning a Disney trip, you're probably watching YouTube videos, reading blogs, making a pin board, doing all of those things. And I encourage you to continue to do those things because it will start to drum up your interest and help you kind of visualize what kind of trip you want for yourself. Are you all about the rides person? Do you want to try and maximize your character time? Are you planning to spend a lot of time at your hotel and just chill out and then only go to the parks a couple of days? All of those things are different by comfort level, right? And your agent can help you set up any of those experiences. One of the things that's a non-negotiable with Disney is advance reservations, whether it be advanced dining reservations or choosing fast passes for rides when they bring that back. And in this right now in COVID, making reservations for the park. Even if you have a ticket, you cannot just show up at Magic Kingdom and play that day. You have to make a reservation in advance.
I did not know that.
That's how they keep the capacity.
Oh, because of COVID. Okay, I see. Oh, man, you have to get yourself a spot. Oh, man, how much would it suck if you bought the ticket, you were all ready to go, and then you didn't make a reservation and didn't let you in? Oh, my gosh.
Right.
Miserable. I'm sure that's happened a lot.
Advanced dining reservations in the before times were made 180 days out.
Oh, my gosh. I can't. Y'all are so extra. Stop doing that.
So 3 years ago, we are in line to check in at Be Our Guest, which, is the restaurant inside Beast Castle.
Right.
A guy walks up to the check-in stand and says, "Hey, what's the wait for a table?" And the Disney guy looks at him and says, 6 months, man.
Oh my God.
These reservations go live in the wee small hours of the morning, 6 months before your trip. Now it's 60 days, I think, because of COVID. But anyhow, if you've already chosen what restaurants you want to go to, your agent wakes up at 4 a.m., not you.
Not you. Smart. Love it.
And our agent has a subscription service that alerted her of open reservations. So we really wanted to be somewhere at 5 p.m. When a 5 p.m. opened, she texted us and said, "Hey, do you want this? I just got an alert saying that this one is available."
Absolutely, now, I do.
Yeah, and this is a service that's about $100 a month. It doesn't make sense for me to spend $100 a month to get alerts on available reservations.
Oh my
but
gosh.
She pays for it as part of her business. So as far as getting into dining, doing all of the little special Disney extras, paying for a fireworks party so you have a great place to watch the fireworks, or sometimes they do events where you can skip the line on a ride. We did a Frozen skip the line party. And,
Ooh.
there's a fee, right?
Yeah.
But it came with dessert and cocktails. And then we all got to go ride the Frozen ride without standing in line.
Right. Hey.
Which was pretty great.
Yeah.
So all of those extras, your Disney agent can book for you.
That's
and you don't
awesome.
have to worry about getting it all done. They can also help you find the best deal on hotels. They can help you navigate your to and from the park travel, right? Because some of the parks are within walking distance of some of the hotels. But most of the hotels that you might choose on property are not necessarily walking distance. And I don't think there's one that you can walk to all 4 parks.
No, I don't think so either. At least not at Disney World. There's some at like Disneyland.
Oh yeah,
Disneyland.
Disneyland. There's hotels that you can stay in that, are Disneyland partner hotels, and you can walk to both parks from your hotel.
Yeah.
Definitely. But
Absolutely.
your Disney agent can help you with land and California Adventure as well.
Right.
The thing I loved about our travel agent was she was available via text during our trip. So not only did she help us plan, but as things came up during the 8 days that we were there,
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
like for example, we decided that we wanted to extend our trip. We weren't ready to come home.
I mean, hey, happiest place on earth for a reason.
Right? She was able to help us find a hotel for the last night and
That's
just kind of
really cool.
sneak us in
Yeah, that's cool.
that day. For
That's
a
really
hotel
cool.
reservation. She's answering texts for us back and forth. We decided that we wanted to cancel one of our dining reservations, and we were inside the 24-hour window, and we were going to be dinged $10 a person for not showing up.
Ugh.
And she helped us navigate
Saved
around
you.
that.
Yeah.
So I'm just a big proponent of travel agents. I'm not a travel agent. There's no travel agents in my family. This is not a commercial. This is just me saying, hey, do it. Give it a shot.
I mean, for me, the idea of planning a trip like this is so overwhelming that I wouldn't know where to start. Like that's what I mean by the type A minus piece of me, right? Like there's just enough laziness in there that I want things to be done, but I also have so much anxiety about being the one who does them that I don't understand the logistics of that. I need a more adultier adult to do these kinds of things for me. I still have my mom help me choose my health insurance. Like there's just things that I don't get. And so for me, having someone who does this literally all the time and gets paid for it because they're good at their job, like this just makes good sense, especially for a trip that you don't know what to expect, like a family vacation where no one else is going with you. It's just you and your partner and your kids, or maybe just you and your kid. However you're going to do this, do something to make it easier on yourself, because travel is already stressful. Vacations are inherently stressful until you get to your destination. And if it's a trip like this, where Disney is very much a go situation, you're going to need someone to just help take some of that anxiety away for you. So this is so good to know. And, again, Jenny is saying this. She doesn't have anyone in her family who is a travel agent. She hasn't told me anything about who this person is. We're not getting paid to do any of this. Like, this is just her experience and her sharing this because Jenny is a planner. Jenny wants to know how things are going to come together. She's like me in that there's logistical things that she knows need to happen. So to have someone else handle the logistics and just kind of tell you this is where you need to be, that would take a huge weight off of my shoulders. Unbelievable. I love that idea. I love it.
Let me tug on parents' heartstrings.
Please do.
Using a Disney travel agent helps minimize any disappointment your kids might have at Disney.
That's so true.
You don't want to be the person who finds out that the restaurant your kids wanted to eat at was booked up 6 months ago.
Oh,
you don't want to find out that the only way to get on Rise of the Resistance is to sign up at either 9 a.m. or 1 p.m. on the one day that you had reservations at Hollywood Studios.
Oh, man.
Right? You don't want to have those conversations of, hey, I didn't know, guys. This person that you work with will make sure that you know and might even take that piece off your plate.
Yeah. Oh, I can't even imagine.
The moment that really solidified all of this for us and made me really want to talk about this on the air with you was as we were walking through one of the parks. late in the afternoon, and this is the part where everybody's dragging, right? It's 95 degrees with 117% humidity, and it's already rained,
Florida.
It's Florida, right?
Gross.
And part of the magic of Disney is there are no bugs. I don't know how they do that in the swamp, nor do I want to know. But
Oh, man.
but it does
Gross.
rain, and they can't control the weather yet. So we're all in our
That's
plastic
coming.
ponchos, and
Right.
it's steamy and hot, and everyone's tired. And we walk past a family, and the dad is saying to his partner, I just really wish I had done my research before we came.
See, and that's the thing. I don't want to do the research. I don't want to, like, there's some things I want to do the research on. This is not one of them. Again, there's so much information. It's so overwhelming. Like, I just can't even imagine, unless you're going into it with somebody who, like, has a season, pass or whatever, and they go all the time. Shout out to my friend Brenna in Florida who does have a season pass and goes. She would know, but here in Texas, I'm not going to know any of these things, and I don't have the patience, the time, or frankly, the give a hoot to do that kind of research, right? Like,
Right.
And just having someone who knows it all already or is paid to do that research for you, and you aren't the one paying them. Yeah,
Right.
you've got me sold.
And it was just such a low moment, right? Like,
Yeah.
we're already beat. The four of us were in our ponchos, we're sweating buckets. We're already in that moment, that 4 o'clock, like, kind of lull. It's time for a Mickey ice cream bar for everyone. We all need a little boost of sugar.
Right.
But we knew that we had reservations for dinner. We had a hotel. All of the things that we could control
Yeah.
were
We
already
were
under
able- yeah,
control.
they were controlled.
Right? We can't control the weather. We can't control the 4 o'clock lull. But
It's Florida. Ugh.
it was just really sad to think, this family, the things that he wanted to control and could, he just hadn't. So yeah, long story short, doesn't matter what trip you're going on, consult a travel agent. Most of the time you can find one who will work for you for free.
Talk about a reason to sign up for various automobile associations right now. But Jenny, that's so helpful. I mean, truly, I'm sold. Like, I can't think of a reason not to use one at this point.
It's free.
It's free. There's no reason not to. I love it. Okay, well, we're right around the hour mark, so we won't take up any more of your precious time. But if you like us and you enjoyed our show, we'd love for you to like and subscribe and rate and review and do all the things wherever you listen to your pods. You can also find us on Twitter, and you can find us on Instagram. Wherever you listen to your pods, just give us a rate and a review. We would love to continue doing this for you guys.
Make good choices.
And use your gift cards.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey friends, thanks for listening to the CK and GK podcast. Find us at CK and GK podcast on Instagram and Twitter, and rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, or anywhere else that you pod. See you next time.